So I'm going to show you one of these sabiki rods. I did a prototype and now I'm about to do the finished version. So just want to show it's upside down, but that's 13.5 inches there. I've got an end cap. It's 1 inch Schedule 40 PVC. And here's kind of the prototype product. You notice on this one that I've got this end fitting, so this 1 inch, it goes to this 1 inch coupling, and then I've got these caps, which I don't know what they're called. All I know is they're available at my True Value. And this actually is a pretty good system. The only thing is that inside you can see that it's got a lip and the sabikis get caught on it. And so I ground it down with a stone bit. You probably have a couple here. I don't know if I've got it handy to show you, but yeah, you know, basically I just ground it down with one of these things here on the inside to you know, smooth out the joint of the end of the coupling. So you know, basically the end of the coupling has got that, and it basically is just getting caught on it. So you can see, you know, there's what it looks like, and you know, the one in the middle is the coupling on the inside. So just enough of that little 1/8 inch is just enough to grab it. So in any case, I know this is a lot of what not to do, but the reason why this is actually okay. The only problem is that when I did this length, I cut it. You know, it's meant to be 65 inches. I used the laser sharp sabikis. That's the one I always use, and I like them for a lot of different reasons. But in any case, I measured out my original rod, and I said, okay, it's got to be 65 inches long from this piece here. These are couplings, and I know that people online have done other things, but in any case, I'm using the couplings. So I did 65, but the problem is I actually cut it short. I said, you know what? It actually seems like it's too long. And when I cut it short, the problem is that, you know, the line where it goes on the inside, right here, basically the leader, the end of the sabiki, the end of the laser sharp rig, was getting caught there, and the line was hanging out the ass end by about 4 inches, which really pissed me off because I knew it was supposed to be 65, and then I shortened the fucking thing. So basically, I'm redoing it now just to accommodate for my F up on cutting it too short. But just to show you what it looks like finished product wise, again, it's an end cap. It's a 13.5 inch base piece, you know, to hold onto your arm. You know, 1 inch couplings. And again, I know the guys online have done 3/4 inch. I just felt like 3/4 inch was going to be too flimsy. And I have used this, so there's a, you know, even with the 1 inch, it feels like the right amount of ruggedness. And then also, you can definitely feel the fish. You know, you get a small fish on there, you can feel the vibration in this stuff because it's so, you know, it's so flexible and, you know, firm as well. In any case, one other thing is that when I drilled my hole here, you know, for the line to go through, I actually drilled it big enough to put a, you can barely see it there, a little bead. And the reason I wanted the bead is because I didn't want this line getting caught and shaved on the PVC if it was jagged. So I'm going to do the same thing on the next version that I build. So basically, I'm going to build the exact same damn thing, except it's going to be 65 inches long at this base. And then the only other thing that I might do, and I brought a couple extra ones, is instead of dealing with this situation where I got to grind down the inside, I think I'm going to take an approach where I take this PVC and sorry, I get too much shit in my way here. I'm going to take this PVC and I might actually just put these pieces directly on, you know, they're just a hair bigger than the unit, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of movement, but I might just put these things on directly, number one, and number two, you know, I'll glue these together and then I'll put it on like so. The only other thing is I might do it more similarly like that, and then you know, I might not even need two of them. The only reason I would put two is just so it doesn't look so silly, but in any case, the point being that you don't want to have the hooks get caught as they wrap around. And I've seen, you know, some guys have heated this up and they flared it out. I think the flare out is still, it's problematic for getting the hooks caught. And I know that because I've had those products with the funnel shape at the end, and I've been not satisfied with them. I actually have the original sabiki cover, you know, for my rod, which is really, you know, this is really what I want. And, you know, this is the ideals. I might even just fiberglass this freaking thing, or, you know, epoxy this thing right onto the end, and it'll go right in there. But that's the original, just for a reference of, you know, why it's got the smoothed over edges. So I was trying to find some PVC parts that would emulate that kind of, you know, rounding edge on it. This is kind of a poor man's version, and that's what I'm going to try and do. So anyway, that's what my intentions are. And then, you know, you see online people say, oh, you know, you buy these things with extension. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but basically some people buy the tube and it flares out to allow two pieces of pipe to connect to each other. This is just straight 40, schedule 40, 1 inch all the way through. And I use the couplings. The coupling, I'm not sure that you can do that same heating process to lift it up in order to get the you know, the base of the rod underneath it. So I do, you know, when I originally did it, I did it with a file, and I just ground out a little bit of it to allow it to go in there. And I'll either do the same thing with the file, or I'll use a Dremel bit, or I might even try heating it just to see if I can get a screwdriver underneath it for starters. I've never heated this stuff before. So anyway, I know there's a lot of talking and not a lot of doing and showing, but in any case, there you go. The other thing I forgot to mention is this piece in the middle. It's exactly 4 1/4 inches, which fits my Shimano perfectly, so that when this cap goes all the way on to the 4 1/2 inch or 4 1/4, and this cap goes all the way on, it's exactly the size that it needs to be. And also, I do epoxy these things. I use the you know, the PVC cement, and I secure them so they're completely secure. So in order for me to take this thing off and put it on the preferred reel that I'm going to build, I have to actually cut this thing to get it off, which I know is kind of a pain, but anyway. All right, I'm going to try this heating process. You know, like I mentioned earlier, I don't know, we'll see. Reel right here, and once I get a, you know, screwdriver underneath it, then I'll give it a shot. So here's the heating process, I guess. Not really sure how long to do this for, so this is definitely an experiment on my part. Yeah, looks like it does. It does look like it's coming up a little bit. I think I'll leave that screwdriver in place and then heat it up a little bit more. That's good, because it's a lot easier than filing it. The advice was definitely don't overdo it, because you know, you'll end up cracking it. So that's pretty good, huh? Pretty fucking good, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to repeat that on the other end here. And, you know, I'm going to PVC one side. I'm not going to PVC the other side. And the reason why I'm not on the other side is because I do want to be able to get this rod off if I want to replace the reel with a different reel. And that way I only have to replace, you know, one section. I'll PVC the butt end, but I won't PVC, you know, the long end, because I want to be able to retain the long end, you know, if I swap out the reels. So there you go. So we all learned something here a minute ago. All right, so here's a brief update. So I have, you know, I've cut these things. They're all dry fitted right now. Just a 1 inch end cap, 13 1/2 inches, 1 inch coupling, 4 1/4. That fits exactly my Shimano Charter Special. Another 1 inch coupling, and a 65 inch piece of 1 inch PVC. And then I've made an executive decision on how I'm going to do the end here, you know, regarding putting this thing on so that the hooks don't catch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two pieces, I don't know what the hell they're called again, I'm going to zoom in so you can get the part number on it. Geez, I don't know if it'll actually do it properly, but you can probably almost just read that freaking, I'll read it to you, I'll read it out loud. It's, actually it's too small to read. In any case, that one might be more legible. 11942 032617. So you might be able to scan that with your phone if you freeze the picture or something. So anyway, there you go. But my point is, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to glue these things together, you know, with the PVC cement. And the reason why is, I contemplated just putting one on, but then I said, you know what, I'll end up catching the fucking hooks on the end of the thing underneath, and it looks like a bit of a mushroom, so I don't really like that look. So I'm going to put the two together, and I'll epoxy them before I put them together, or I'll epoxy them together before I put them onto the tip of the rod. And I'll epoxy them before I put them on the end of the rod. And you can see that if I epoxy them, then it'll be more symmetric, you know, it'll be glued on more symmetrically. So I'll put glue on this side and I'll put glue on that side when I slide it on, and then I'll get it right at the edge so that it's just right on the lip. And I am thinking that I might have to sand down the tip anyway, because I do think that the hooks might still catch on that lip. But given the success that I had with that lighter and just warming up the material, I think that I may get a win out of you know, kind of heating it up a little bit, and then you know, maybe just chisel them away a little bit. I got one of these. Yeah, it's a nice, I don't know what the hell it's called, drill bit of some sort. It's my dad's. And I might just, you know, just kind of channel it around a little bit when I'm done. But anyway, I wanted to show the whole thing like dry fitted. This took me, I don't think, maybe 5 minutes to cut all the pieces to size. And like I said, I'm going to, and by the way, that heating up process for these, you know, fittings for the rod, that's definitely the way to go. That was easy peasy. Instead of, you know, filing or dremeling, you don't have a shit go everywhere. It worked out perfectly. I mean, it's perfectly symmetric. It fits right in there. And then I'm going to drill the hole about 4 inches up, 3 to 4 inches up from the coupling. And then, like I said, I've got some of those little beads that I'm going to put in there. And yeah, so anyway, that's kind of the progress, and then I'll show it when it's all done. All right, here I am again. So I did actually use the Dremel, and I rounded that thing, you know, on the inside edge. You can probably see it okay. In any case, if that thing gets glued in position, then there's a very small lip where it might get caught, but in any case, that's a possibility, right? The other choice that I have is I can just glue on another end, you know, another coupling end, and this is just a 1 inch to 3/4, but I can use another 1 inch coupling. The problem is, you can see on the inside there, there's another lip. You can see that there, and so I know for a fact that the hooks will get caught, because, like I said, in my prototype version, I had the same problem. So what I might do is but the thing is that coupling has a nice fit over the top, like so, right? So it does have a nice, you know, opportunity for not getting stuck on the outer edge, but on the inside it runs the risk of getting caught. So I think I'm going to take my Dremel, and I'm just going to run an experiment with the Dremel on the inside of this 3/4 to 1 inch reducer, because I don't really need it. And you know, again, here's the Dremel tool. It's pretty small. It's just 1/8. So I might just be able to put it right inside there, and you know, basically go around. And if that rounds that thing down the way I hope it does, then I think I'm probably going to go with the coupling based approach instead of this, this tube based approach. So anyway, stand by, I guess. All right, I got to put the phone down because I don't want to cut my wrist in half with this tool. All right, I did opt to go with this route here. I just put the PVC cement on there. You can see it's just doesn't, it's not a, tight fit. So I did, I kind of spun it around there a little bit, slid it around there, and I'm waiting for it to dry. But I did, I do have the beveled edge from the Dremel. So I think it's pretty effing good. I'm going to take a little bit of glue or, PVC cement, and I'm going to round it around the edge here as well once this thing dries, just to kind of build it up a little bit and, make it, less likely for something to catch. And then I'll reassemble this thing, and I got to still drill the hole here, but in any case, it turns into a little bit more of a science project that I want, but I am kind of anal about this stuff, and if I can make it better, I'll try and make it better. So anyway, that's the intention here. All right, one final. I made 2 more of these rods. I tell you, I love them. I made that one the other day and loved it. But final recommendation here. I did, on the 2 new rods that I made, I'm going to show you how it's rounded over. So that's just a tip like I showed in the original video. And then this pipe, I didn't use the router on it. It's actually, PVC, it's pretty soft. So I used a rounded file. And I just went around the edge just to take the burr off so that the line wouldn't get chafed as it's going around. And then what I did is I used some 100 grit, 120 grit sandpaper. And I just polished the edge. I mean, it didn't take much effort at all, you know what I mean? Just kind of crunched it up a little bit and went around the edge, real aggressively. And it's, it's super smooth to the touch. And it's got a nice rounded over edge. It's probably not coming out very good in the video, but I'm telling you, I effing love it. So anyway, there you go. This mousetrap is just about as freaking good as it gets. Super sensitive too. I mean, even though it's the thick 1 inch, it's rugged, but I'm telling you, 130, 160 feet, I can feel fish on the bottom just as easily as I could with the original sabiki rod. So there you go.